Grace and peace to those who do the will of my Father in heaven, or our Father if He is your Father as well. So I'm having a bonus video today, and this one is about, well, it follows up on the video I made before about the powers that be, or anybody actually, hitching their wagon to blackness. And I wanted to touch on two things, but I only just deal with one, and that was Kamala Harris. And what really disturbs me, and I'm putting it mildly when I say disturbs, it goes well beyond just disturbing me, is how they seem to think that they can shove anybody they want under the umbrella or under the cover of being so-called black, and thinking that we as a people are supposed to just fall in line and get behind that. And one of the things that's so bad about this is that it doesn't happen with any other group. You don't see them try to pass off anybody else as white or Hispanic or Asian and say, you got to get behind this person because they're Hispanic or Asian. And not only that, but you don't really see them, it's like you don't see them weaponize it like that. When it comes to so-called black people, though, they want you to get behind their agenda. So they will literally use blackness to get you to get on board with an agenda, while at the same time they don't do that with other groups of people. And another problem with the whole thing about being so-called black is that it doesn't really identify you. It doesn't tell you about yourself. So many people, especially those who like to use FBA and foundational black Americans, have no idea what black even means. They think they do, but they don't. They're using black and they're attributing it to the Native Americans. The Native Americans are not black. Yeah, they were dark skinned, maybe even charcoal color, black color, but they were not what we know as the construct of black. They were not societally black. That we're not talking about skin color. We're talking about a label that has been applied to a specific group of people, and it had nothing to do with the Native Americans. So all you so-called foundational black Americans who want to call yourself Native American and black, you're actually doing the hijacking of blackness that you accuse other people of doing. Because if you are Native American, some of you are, there's a mixture. I know I have a Cherokee great-grandmother, but she is not black. She was dark-skinned. She was not black. Black is a Negro. Negro comes from the Spanish and Portuguese word for black. And that label was given to the slaves that they brought over here. And a lot of you are trying to deny that slavery even happened, but that word Negro applied to the slaves that they had brought over here, and they kicked off the slave trade over there in Spain and Portugal at 1492 and basically the late 15th century, or is that the late 15th century, I think it's called. So around 1492, basically, the Spanish Inquisition, the black, the Negro, the Moors, another word, Moors, that means black. We were identified wherever our people were. The Moors were just Muslim, and the Jews were just black Jews. So wherever we were identified as black, Moor, or Negro. So if you are one of those so-called FBAs who are vehemently against the idea that your ancestors are from Africa, then guess what? You are not black. you are a tether, and you are trying to tether yourself to blackness, but you're not black, if that is your identity, as you claim. And so back to what I was saying, that it doesn't tell you your ethnicity, especially when they have gone through so much trouble to wipe away your past and wipe away your identity. What does black even mean? What does Negro mean? Where did it come from? Where did your people come from? Where did you come from? Africa what? Is that it? What is your history? Other people groups can trace their history back. You can't do it. And that's because yours has been erased. And one of the things that they do, since I'm on the topic of Africa, is not just Africa, but what they weaponize black people to do as well is not just black people, but other people who are from outside of the United States who can blend into blackness, is that they will use these people to push their agenda. Let's say if they wanted to shut down reparations in California, or let's say take out a black leader, or even shift blame for the slave trade onto black people, they will always say your own people did it. How can they get away with saying your own people did it? Because they made it so that anybody can fit under the umbrella of black. Black is not your ethnicity. Black is not your tribe. Black is just a label, and anybody can fit under that label. So if anybody can fit under that label, even a Canaanite or a Hamite, or somebody who is not an African American descendant of slaves, can come over and sell you out for 30 pieces of silver, and then they'll say your own people did it. But who cut the check when it came to slave trading? Those other tribes, those other groups of people with different bloodlines, different lineages, capturing and selling slaves. Do you think they had no demand for those slaves? You think they had supply but no demand? That's ridiculous. There's no supply without demand. So who was demanding the slaves? And so this, again, goes back to what I was saying about them trying to shift the blame and saying your own people did it to you. That's the game that they ran on me. When I was in 4th grade, I remember that. I remember hearing, oh, man, we sold ourselves into slavery? I guess we can't be mad then. I remember that. I remember sitting in class thinking that, oh, what? Black people sold other black people into slavery? Dang, well, we did it to ourselves. And so that's the game that they try to play on you. Oh, your own people did it. Hiding their hand. And all the while, it's just other groups of people who are thrown in under the label of black, but really have nothing to do with your people and your lineage and your tribe. None of that. And so here we have not just Barack Obama, but also who was not an African American descendant of slaves, and yet he was from Kenya, but who knows if he was had anything to do with our people as well. Being from Africa doesn't mean that you're the same people. Skinfolk ain't kinfolk. And he come out stumping, talking about black men need to support Kamala Harris, and it appears misogynistic if we don't. And it's like, why they love to send their slave masters, not the slave master, but the taskmasters out there, right? Your own people said it to you, right? They won't come out and say it themselves. They'll get somebody who looks black to do it. Like I said, they'll get, so they can say your own people said it. Your own people did it. They're on TV. They're in offices, political offices, and they'll say your own people did it, but it's not our own people. So in this case, it looks like our own people are telling us what to do, but really it's not our own people. And besides the point, we shouldn't be nobody should have to talk to us like that. They don't talk to each other like that. So why do they have to get this guy out here and tell us that we have to vote a certain way, or anybody else for that matter, that we supposed to be voting a certain way. We got our own minds. Why do we always have to do what somebody else tell us to do? Like we some kind of slave. Like you don't get out here and just be like, you got to vote this way, you got to vote that way. Or like, what's his name said? Joe Biden. If you don't know who you're voting for, you ain't black. What is this slave master mentality? You crack the whip and tell people what to do and they're supposed to do it. Like, what is this? You know, when I know slavery never ended. They just got rid of the they got rid of the plantations and built the penitentiaries. And slavery is still legal, according to the 14th Amendment, if it's a result of a punishment for a crime. It's still legal. Slavery is still legal as long as it is punishment for a crime. And that is why they took down the plantations and built the penitentiaries and started filling them with black men who did nothing for even just standing around, loitering. Boom, you're getting locked up, going back into slavery. Coming up with all these laws, all these different ways to put people back into the penitentiary and keep them in slavery. 400 years going, slavery and oppressed. We're the only people who fulfill that prophecy. But back to Kamala. I'm kind of sharp today. I thought I was sharp. With Kamala though, yeah, she's one of those people. She's black Indian, not black, but I'm talking about skin color. Not Negro, but dark skinned Indian. Because unlike what a lot of people will have you believe, especially the white supremacists, dark-skinned people covered this whole earth at one point. They covered this whole earth before the lighter-skinned people, call them white people if you want, began to go forth conquering and to conquer, colonizing, spreading, raping, mixing, lightening skin colors, right? Going back to Alexander the Great, conquering and Hellenizing the world, and skin colors became lighter, and history was getting whitewashed. And then, before you know it, everyone's acting like nobody in the past was dark skinned except those who were below the sub-Saharan line in Africa. Something this kind of quarantine zone that they made up to try to say that black people were here from here and only from here. So you have Kamala, this who comes from Indians, and so he goes to Jamaica. He's dark skinned or whatever, and now what? He's black Jamaican, right? And so now we have this so-called black woman who is out there kikiing and kakaan because she's a phony, and she knows she's a phony. And anytime anybody asks her a question, she starts laughing because she knows she's acting, she's full of crap, and she can't keep a straight face because she knows she's full of it. She's a fraud, and she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed to be in that position. She's ashamed. And this is what you see the movie The Joker. Remember the first, not the second one, but the first one, The Joker. He couldn't stop laughing when he was in an awkward position. And they said that was a neurological condition where when he was in an uncomfortable position or afraid or he had some kind of strong negative emotion, he couldn't stop laughing. And what do we see? Kamala Harris get up there, and whenever she's in a position where she has to fake an accent, or she has to pretend to be black, she starts laughing uncontrollably because she has that Joker condition where she can't help but laugh in an awkward or uncomfortable position because she knows she's fake. She has an imposter syndrome. That's not who she is. She's not black. And she knows it, and she's ashamed of it. She's embarrassed by it, and she can't do it with a straight face. And she has nothing for us. She never said that she had anything coming for us. And yet we're supposed to get behind her and they're going to crack the whip. They're going to send out everybody they can, and when they, for such a small percentage of the population, they sure do like to crack the whip on us and act like what we do is going to make or break the whole thing. If we're such a small percentage of the population, why treat us like if you guys don't get out there and vote, everything is over, we're done for? How is that? See, it's not like our vote matters. It's about where your mind is at. They want to know that you are still locked into the program. They want to know that they still got you. Where's your mind at? Is your mind free, or are you still on the plantation? That's what they want to know. That's why they come in hard. Like, black man, if you don't get out there and vote for Kamala, you got this problem or you that problem. You are problematic. You are the problem. They want to know, are you still our slave? Or are you breaking free? So that's what that comes down to. And like I said, I'm over it, man. I'm so done with it. I'm so tired of it. And they won't stop. They'll keep on doing it. They'll keep on sending these shills out there, these paid boule members and these paid non-descendant of African American slaves, and they'll just continue pushing their agendas under the umbrella of blackness to get us to go in line with whatever they're trying to do. So anyway, I got to bring this video to a close. For those who do the will of our Father in heaven, may our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, bless you.